Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
So welcome to the podcast. We appreciate you guys jumping on. We got two of you. As
Two
Corey,
of you.
Two of you.
You mean you.
Two of them.
You people.
They.
Two guests.
They're here. Two
In the middle of planting season, we have two farmers
matching shirts.
sitting here.
Matching shirts.
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we lined this up on Snapchat.
Yeah, we
this
called
morning.
each other.
Jeez. Yeah.
How come you didn't snap me?
Should have.
Yeah.
Well, if you get your information, we'll get you in on it next time.
Uh-huh. And I see that there's two hats that we don't have on the wall yet.
You're not getting this one though.
Just say
That
that.
one don't go?
You could probably have this one.
This one has been. This one's been around for a very long time, and they don't make it anymore. So I'm keeping this. Came out of my very personal collection of hats.
Oh.
You know, farmers are personal with their hat collections. Very protective.
Do you wear that during planting season?
No, this is a farm show only.
Yes.
It's a special occasion only
I
hat.
was gonna
It
say,
looked way too clean.
I had to pick out a special hat that I wasn't too attached to, but was good enough. I liked it enough for planting season because I knew it was just going to be full of graphite,
Yes.
Yeah.
dirt, and sweat.
But you have to have a nice enough hat just in case something breaks and you have to go to town.
Yeah.
You have to look presentable.
Yeah.
or you got to run into a kid's concert or swing by an event or whatever it is. It still has to have a little bit nice to it. My Hillabo hat is rough right now.
I learned this the other day. A total separate trap and skeet. My kid's in it. If you get 25 straight in a row, they throw your hat in the air and then all the kids shoot the hat. That's the tradition. Is there a farming tradition like that? We made 200 bushel corn. Throw your hat in the air and through the auger or something.
No,
like,
it's your
is
underwear.
there,
You're supposed to bury your underwear.
Is that
right?
No.
like what's
And
the
then-
Is
tradition?
that where, like, when they miss the grain cart on purpose, they're just spilling corn everywhere? That's
Yeah. Cab corn. Yeah, we celebrate with cab corn.
Cap corn. Okay.
Actually, you know what? I think at Custom Harvesters deal, don't they, at the end of harvest, don't they combine their hats?
I don't even think that's a custom harvesters thing. I think that's some people have that tradition. They wear the same hat during all of harvest, and then at the end they throw it in the combine and let it run through.
I need one of those hats.
And the gleaner doesn't even do anything to it. It just comes out
out the back. He puts it right back on his head.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
No
what I would
chance.
do. I'd pick that windrow. I'd be like, all right, Corey, fire yours up. We're going to run them through your machine this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always hesitated. I don't go to a lot of hockey games, but I never want there to be a hat trick there because you're supposed to throw your hat on, and there's a lot of peer pressure. If you
Yeah.
don't throw your hat on the ice, like, shoot, that might have been the hat.
What they have so many traditions in hockey. I was watching last night. They threw rubber rats on the ice.
Really?
Yeah. What the heck's that about?
I don't know.
It
what
was a
that's
Florida
about.
game. I have no idea. Or is it a match? I don't freaking know hockey.
Is it a match?
Is it a game?
It's a game.
There's 3 periods.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 periods, then overtime.
I love
Another overtime, then a
playoff
shootout.
hockey, so I always flip that on because, man, I think it's the most talented sport there is out there. Just
Yeah. Well, we didn't get very far in your intro of these guys, so let's give them a chance to tell us a little bit about
Right.
who they are, what their farms are like. Chad, let's make you go first. Why don't you give the listeners an idea of where your operation's at, what that looks like, and then what your role is with Ag Leader.
Yeah, so my name is Chad Stensrud. I'm from a little town in southern Minnesota called Freeborn. Nobody's ever heard of it, no reason to. I farm with my dad and my uncle. We run primarily corn, snow rotation. We do mix some beans in every once in a while if we have to.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I've been farming with them. I've been around the farm my whole life, but picked up my first piece of ground in 2011, 2012, somewhere in there.
rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then rent from my dad and my uncle.
Okay.
And but yeah, like I said, we family farm. Then we've also got a field drainage business that we run as well.
Okay.
It's not that we get a lot of spare time, but
So you run like a commercial tile plow?
so I've got a Wayne's tile plow on the back of a 620 quad.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hello, farmers. Harvest waits for no one, and neither should you. Sukup Manufacturing has grain storage, drying, and handling equipment you need now to be ready when it counts.
Whether you're upgrading your bins, adding a dryer, or improving efficiency, place your order today and still get it in time for this harvest.
Trust Sukup, a family-owned company built by farmers for farmers.
Visit sukup.com or contact your local dealer to get started today. Sukup, store now, profit later.
That keeps us busy. It's basically from if the ground's not thawed or if the ground's not frozen, we're doing something, whether it's farming. And then as far as Ag Leader goes, I'm the territory manager for Ag Leader, and I cover all of Minnesota, a little bit of northern Iowa. So I oversee all the dealers. Before I've been with Ag Leader for 4 years now, and before that I was an Ag Leader dealer for 11 years up to that point.
You were a dealer, so you're a farmer dealer.
Yep.
Kind of. Is that what you call it?
I worked at L&D Ag Service. That was a dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay.
And I was there for 11 years.
But it sounds like you got a lot going on the farm. So was there just not enough income forever to go around?
Not enough room for all of us to
Yeah.
for three mouths to eat out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it.
Where is it out on
told
that
me
map,
get
Tanner?
a haircut.
He's
get a
just
real
outside
job.
of Albert Lee. So
I see.
just,
So Freeborn. Yep.
It's a nice lake right there.
Oh, it looks nice from
One of the
it looks-
10,000?
It looks nice from here, but if you zoom in on it, you can just about see the bottom.
Oh, really? It's a
Yep.
shallow one.
Yeah, and I live right on the lake. It's
oh, you got lakefront property.
yeah.
Is that your motorcycle?
No, it's not. Right on the right hand side of the screen where it's right by the lake where you can see.
We're gonna zoom right in on his house right now.
Oh,
Yep. So scroll to the bottom right a little bit. Right there's
That
my,
thing's huge.
that lake is really big.
It's a mansion.
So yeah, your
Oh,
mouse
let's
is
talk
right-
about the house.
No. Yeah, right there is my farm.
Cool.
Very cool. Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Evan, you're up.
So yeah, Evan Bodermann. I'm Ag Leader's crop care product specialist. So in our product management department, I'm focused on sprayers and hydrospars, spinner spreaders, strip till, control systems. So as well as farm down in southern Iowa, south central Iowa, in Madison and Clark counties.
Where'd you go to school?
Went to school. Actually, grew up in Woodward Granger, so locally here. And then I went to school at Iowa State. At Iowa State, I learned about this program called Farm On. So that pairs people that wanted to farm with people that don't have any heirs to.
Is that part of the beginning farmer?
Yeah, so it's
deal?
it's through the beginning. Farmer, like Iowa Finance Authority, was running it. Like David Baker, if you guys ever ran into him. So then I was lucky enough to, find an individual I really liked and got along with, and so actually when I got out of college, I moved, close to him. And he actually is from Carroll area, like Vale, Carroll, if you guys are familiar. And I was getting along really well, and then just wasn't making enough money as a farmhand, and wanted to, do my own farming. And then that's when I started Ag Leader, just because I thought I could do Ag Leader and the farming stuff. So then after I started Ag Leader, everything, like my personal farm wise, actually started clicking. So, landlord started calling and had some more money. The guy that got me started farming sold me an 80, or my wife and I an 80. And now we're getting to the point that we've gotten to the size that we're so, we have a decent land base as well. So we're still trying to help him, but then also make sure our own stuff gets done. So
That's pretty cool. I think that's one of the first success stories. Maybe I just haven't talked to the right people.
You don't
out of
hear
that
very
program.
many of them, right?
Because I followed that program very closely because I wanted to farm really bad, and there wasn't a spot for me on the farm. So I was trying to figure out any possible way, could I potentially go, take over a smaller farm somewhere, even if it wasn't my family's, and always talk to David, and great guys, and they put on a great program, just I never could figure out anything, at least in my area.
Yeah.
Would have had to move to, there were several opportunities, it seemed like several hours away, type of a deal.
That's awesome. Well, I've never heard of a program like that before. That's really cool because it's an awesome way to get people that want to farm. But as we all know, if you wanted to start farming from scratch, it is just about impossible.
Yeah, you have to have the right person that wants to see a young person come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, how was that transition?
Oh, it's still tough, and we're still fighting with it. Like this year, even he's like, "Oh, probably you're getting so big that you should go have your own combine." And I wasn't planning on that, and he told me on September 1st of last year. So then I went and combined 600 acres with a 1660 I bought off Facebook Marketplace, and made it happen. And so it's still tough. There's still a lot of growing pains, and so the main thing is I still plant most of his corn and then spray for him, but then we just kind of help each other. I mean, he's got all the facilities, right? All the shed space and water, electricity, and forklifts, and just all the stuff that makes actually the farm go around. And then I'm still kind of coming in with my own money to inject, the equipment that I can afford. So
he's still actively farming.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's still actively farming. The only thing that he helped me get started was selling me that 80.
Okay.
And then when I was first doing that, or farming that, he'd let me borrow equipment in return. I was still helping him spray and plant.
Is there a plan to actively take over?
Unfortunately not. There was
So it's
at
like
one
a
point.
real family farm.
Unfortunately not, and especially since with the Ag Leader work, which my main love and where the money actually comes from is Ag Leader. So I just don't want to sacrifice that to help him more, I guess. Like today he's out planting. I probably should be spraying for him, but I wouldn't. I got way in front of him, but then he caught up to me because I had to do my normal job that actually pays.
You had to
bills.
be here.
Yeah, I had to be here.
I'd choose to be here too. But
Exactly, with you guys.
that's eye opening. I just sit there and I think about what types of things you, Corey, your dad, and your brother talk about, and even though, maybe you think they should go do something with their own piece of equipment, you're still family.
Oh yeah.
For him to say, hey, no, you should probably combine with your own combine.
Yeah.
There's not. You don't have to see him at Thanksgiving.
No.
You don't have to see him at Christmas. He doesn't have as much. What am I looking for? Emotional tie.
Right. No, I thought that's part of that program was they were going to help put those plans in place.
And
like,
they didn't.
There's.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I went to one of their conferences and it was like, they always would lay it out like it's a 7-year program or an 8-year program, and for 2 years he's going to make the calls and you're going to help, and for 2 years you're both going to make them together 50-50, and then the last you're going to make a call and he's just going to be there to help be a guide.
Yeah.
And
I think it's good that he made you buy a combine, though. Like as a parent,
as an auctioneer, and I had a combine for sale.
Facebook Marketplace is where it went. Yeah, it wasn't my auction. I think it's good because sometimes we as people won't jump, and when we're forced into stuff, it actually makes us better. So being forced to get it, well, now you got it. Now you're not worried. Now you're not reliant. Now you're self-sufficient to not have to rely on him to do that. My dad forced me to do some stuff too, but boy, it sure made me self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So I'm glad every day that at that time they saw the opportunity in me to do it.
It also backs up our stat what was your stat that you looked up? How many farmers have off-farm income?
Off-farm.
Yeah, it was 60%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw that
That's
the other day
that's
on
a crazy stat.
maybe we just need.
Right? I mean, like, you wouldn't be able to do what you do now if you didn't
Yeah.
have that supplemental income and insurance and benefits and all that, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that you hear, you hear other podcasts talk about too. Is how many farmers have that side hustle, and then until the goal is to farm full time.
Yeah.
And you can't really. There's nobody out there that farms I forget who it was where I heard this, but he's like, there's no farmer out there that goes, geez, I really want to farm long enough so I can start a plumbing business.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I think we've said that.
I mean, it's just...
I actually heard it on Barn Talk the other day, too.
That's where it was. It was
Barn Talk had it out there. Yep.
Yeah, you don't farm all your life to, hopefully become a doctor or, any of that stuff. It's everyone wants to farm.
Yep. So once you get the dirt in your blood, it's hard to get it out.
But it's so if I reverse roles here, it's got to be beneficial to Ag Leader to have farmers on their team as well, because a lot of companies will go, I don't want them going off and farming. That's going to take time away from our business.
For me, I think it is super valuable to have my farming experience. I mean, I spent the last week in my tractor and planter with SureSpeed, SureForce, running liquid on my planter. My farm is all is predominantly Ag Leader controls on everything, and just my general knowledge of how it works and how it plays into everyday life on the farm helps me go out to the dealers. And when I'm going out with the dealers doing farm gate visits to growers, I can say, hey, here's how I'm using it on my farm. And it builds a huge level of trust between myself, the dealer, and then the dealer to the customer. If you can see that full circle of, well, if this guy is using it on his farm, he works for the company, he believes in it enough that he wants to use it on his farm to make him profitable.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. That's one of the coolest things about Ag Leader is that, what do you think it is? Probably 75% of the people that work at the company have a tie to a farm somehow, whether they grew up on a farm, whether they actively farm themselves. I mean, it seems like a lot.
No, there is a significant amount.
Maybe
sure.
75 is too high, but
no, there's
it's
a
a good
lot.
number. We'll run with that.
Yeah, we can run with that.
Okay, I'll look at it. On the sales team side of it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like
team,
our sales team. There's 13 of us territory managers, and I think everybody has a tie to or at least came from a farm, still actively farms.
Yep.
It's just, I think it's awesome that we're able to do that. One of our reports that we have to turn in is called "Demonstrate the Value," or "What did you do this week to demonstrate the value of our products?"
Yeah. It should almost be required.
I used it all week.
Yeah.
It should almost be required that even if you don't have a tie, you should have to go put in X amount of hours of running some Ag Leader product.
Which we do. We have like a test farm facility south of the office, so we, not force but encourage like software developers to mechanical engineers to get out there and use the products that they're helping build all the time. So they have equipment and everything that they need to go do that.
Now that there's one thing that we've tried doing on this podcast is when we have a partner, we try really hard to make it something that we've used or had experience with before putting things together. We've not done that the whole time this podcast has existed.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't come off right. And two, we want to know it works.
Yeah.
We want to know that product that we're going to advertise for. Obviously, that's not what we're talking about today as far as it goes. We're getting to know you two, but even then, we saw a Snapchat from you the other day explaining what UpForce was on your planter.
Yeah, and that was just random. It wasn't because Ag Leader told me to or anything like that. I have found myself running UpForce a lot more than downforce.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they need hydraulic downforce on their planter. Need hydraulic downforce on the planter. My planter is a central fill planter. I'm probably lifting. I'm conventional till.
Yeah.
I'm probably lifting on my row units. The vast majority of the time, I'm putting anywhere between 75 and 100 pounds of lifting force on it. So it's like you don't need downforce, and that's on a central fill planter.
Yeah.
So you got guys out there running 3-bushel boxes, and they're like, I need heavy duty down pressure springs. I was like, I bet you don't.
Yeah.
Well, how about for you no-till though? Because you're mostly no-till.
Yeah. So I mean, this year I probably committed some planning sins, just trying to get some things in. But I mean, I was doing some uplift, especially if the boxes were full, and then like I was full of fertilizer. But then last year or maybe 2 years ago, I've had full fields average 550 pounds of applied force just to get into the ground, because you're sending it 2.5 inches deep just to get to moisture. I mean, we've had some. I imagine by the end of this week, I'll be in the same boat.
Right. I was gonna say, just because most of the time that I run UpForce, the ability to change, right? I go into no-till and I need the downforce. Or there was one year that was so dang dry, I was putting everything I had into it, and it was actually lifting the planter out of the ground. So my limit switch was tripping. It was pissing me off.
I'm
just gonna unplug that. Put the
my cheat code for that, like if you have a goalie, is to keep hitting the prime button and just go.
Just hit the prime.
See, first-hand experience.
You don't put it.
But if you have a long stretch, I keep a loop in the tractor, so you just loop it and keep driving.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, I cut you off.
No, you're right. I was thinking back to your just doing working for them and using their product. It made me think of a gal that walked into my office the other day. Everybody's trying to sell me something, and a gal walks in and she's like, I have like Aflac, like in case you get injured or you got to get off work for some reason, insurance. And she's sitting at my office desk. I'm like, all right, I'll listen. Yeah, what do you got here? She's like, this is the best insurance. You need this insurance, whatever. And she gets a text. She looks at it, starts crying. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, well, you have the insurance to cover your time off of work. She's like, no, I didn't buy it. I was like, oh, there you go. I guess I'm not buying it either.
Part of the benefits of the package.
You'd think it would be. So.
Oh man,
that's funny.
That's funny.
That's worst case scenario. Not being
I'm like consoling her out the door, like it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be okay.
Like you said, your whole farm pretty much runs on it.
Yeah.
Right, Evan, you too.
Yeah. Yep. Everything.
Now, did you get it in your 1660 last fall?
So here's the sad part is I ordered everything to go into the 1660. The only thing that actually went into it was the auto steer because I didn't want to take the time to drill out the elevator unit to mount the flow sensor. But I do have it sitting in the shed, so that's one of my summer projects.
That's a project list, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be
I do need to
5 days before harvest.
Yeah.
We know how fast the summer slips by.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
I do need to
Did
get it adapted to do an 8-row head on it, though.
Did you already soak the lower adjuster bearing on that with WD-40 after you parked it? Because that's the hardest part about that whole install is getting the lower adjuster bearing off. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
See, they already know.
Yep.
I need to get Dad auto steer in his 7520 after planting everything this spring with markers.
Right.
I know it's fun for a little bit. It's just not fun for a lot of it.
Your Snapchats looked like they were straight.
They were straight.
Did you put a wiggle in front of your mom's window?
I did not. I did not.
You should have.
I sent a Snapchat out. They built a house 2 years ago, and so I was planting right outside the living room window. And as I was following my marker line up, I sent one out saying this would be the time and place because she's going to stare at these rows all year. I didn't have the courage. I went as straight as I could. I should have just.
You should have put a good one in. Because you don't have to look at it.
I don't. Nope. Not until I go back up for harvest. That's right. So you guys, you told us a little bit about your farms yourselves. What about families? Are you guys married? You got kids? What's that look like?
So I'm married, my wife Hannah, and I've got 2 kids. Got a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, Axel and Tate, 2 boys. They've caught the farming bug already too, which is awesome for me to see. I got some really cool pictures of both of them. How my farm works is my house is right on top of the shop and the grain setup, so there is no sneaking out of the yard with a semi anything without having 2 ride-alongs now. It's they're both super into it. Just over the weekend, it was pretty funny. We were pulling stuff back we're pulling the planter back in and to switch over from corn to beans, and my 4-year-old is standing out there going.
I was going to say, be careful. I have 2 friends that backed over their kids with a skid loader.
Well, he's telling you where to go. He's got it.
Exactly. Teach them kids young.
We preach this a lot. I always tell them, I said, make sure you can see Daddy or Grandpa in the tractor or Uncle Dale.
Yeah.
Because if you can't see him, he can't see you. So you always need because that is one of my biggest fears is that you've got all this big equipment moving around. Yeah. The kids are super interested in it and getting too close and having something terrible happen.
I even set my Ring doorbell. You can set the sensitivity. I turned it up if I'm more in the summer because I'm out towards the shop. It goes off on my phone and Ring doorbell. I'm like, one of the kids is out of the house. So
Rand's out.
I hate those notifications.
Yep.
Evan, what about you, family?
Married to my wife Becky. She actually also works at Ag Leader.
Tell them how you met.
So we came out with our current steering product, and I was in our product testing department at that time. So that was like my main project, and I was tasked to take each tech support person out for an install.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So it was an install, and then
Sorry, was that out of the line?
No, that's fine. It was actually the year of 2020, so it was COVID, and Becky had just moved to Ames to work at Ag Leader, and so I felt bad and took her down to our place here in Kelly.
Oh wow!
And after the install, and then 6-8 months went later, and we told HR that we were dating. So
wow, how'd that conversation go?
Oh, actually, it was pretty easy because we're separate departments. I read the handbook several times. But
so it's right here. This
seem
is
like
okay.
the type of guy that would read the handbook several times. You and me would get along, and be like, okay, I'm gonna have my facts straight, so that way when I go and ask for something, I know what I'm asking for.
Yeah, and so we've been married 2 years in February, and working on the kid thing. But so
yeah, that's great.
Very nice. How was spring for each of you? I know we talked before we got on the mics, but we'll start with Southern Minnesota.
So right in my pocket of Southern Minnesota, we got in like the 11th, 12th of April, right in my area. There's some guys northwest of me that were done before we even started. And it was right before Easter, and we put in 120 acres of corn. Didn't really want to put any more because there was rain coming. Ground conditions were absolutely beautiful when we planted, and then we got just smoked with rain.
Yeah,
I got 2.5 inches in a little over an hour. The one shot that came through. The next day, get 0.8, and then we were out of the field up until this past week here, and got back in and few 4 or 5 hard days and got all of our crop in and planted into some really good conditions. And the stuff that I planted last Thursday has already got a root on it that far, and seed is sprouting, and
it's gonna pop out pretty good now.
Oh yeah,
we got
80s,
mid 80s, and it's great. We planted into moisture, but now, like I said, when we were wrapping up there at the end, we were figuring out how deep you could shove a planter to try to get the seeds into moisture.
Yeah, I like planting deep, especially on corn. You know, you can't get hurt too bad on that. And seems like the further north you go, the more they like to push. I'm not gonna say conditions, but maybe soil temp. Like,
yes,
it's more about it's beautiful conditions. Maybe it's not 50 degrees yet, and I'm kind of the same way because just seems like we really get hurt when, it might be great soil temp, but it's maybe we're smearing the sidewall a little bit or whatever. But that's where it's really nice to have the hydraulic downforce or upforce, so you can actually go, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
So
I've been in there's been plenty of springs where I've been out riding, especially when I was still when I was still working at the dealership, where I'd go out and ride with guys, and 75% of the field is great going. Field conditions are great. You get to the north side of a fence line or a tree line, and you're winging the planter through a snowdrift.
I was going to ask you how you harvest the
called
snow
snow-till.
that you said you had as a crop.
Yeah, I wish if we haven't gotten any of that this last couple of years either. I haven't even rode snowmobile around home the last couple of years. It's been very depressing in that area, because if it's going to be freezing cold, it might as well snow so I can at least ride sled.
Yeah, really, probably the snow was south of you, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was more snow between my place and Ames than there was at my place.
Because I know when we came back from Florida, we had to drive through snow, and it was like once we hit the Iowa border, it was like till Mason City and a little south.
Yep.
And,
I was talking to Zach Johnson, which would be further north of you.
Yeah.
And I was rolling beans that day that I was talking, and he couldn't believe that we'd already planted beans and that I was out there rolling for him because he still had snow on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach got a few right in that lower area up there. They got a few snowstorms. When would that have been? First and second week of April.
Yeah.
We got rain, they got snow.
Yeah. But then it seems like, we're rolling on beans, they got snow, and then all of a sudden they're done. And I guess that's where the high speed and all the technology comes in, because I know, like, Lance Satrowski snapped me one day, and he was planting 90-some acres an hour. I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, what a...
But we've talked about this before. The planting window is just so much smaller than it ever used to be, no matter where you're at. But for them, it's even less. Because you were talking maturities of corn that we were planting.
Yeah.
And you go up that direction, and they've got to get it up out of the ground and into a combine in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was Southern Iowa planting?
Southern Iowa was pretty good. There's a lot of people that got done pretty early. There's Fast and Furious at like April 8th through we got rain Easter weekend, so...
I was going to say, you guys seemed like you never really had a big one that put you out too long.
No, not too long. That one on Easter, and then there was another one that following Wednesday, Thursday. But I had probably 80% of my crop in really early. But then my problem is I plant and spray. I'm both guys, one guy. So that week, that first week of planting is 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Day. Yeah.
Might as well not.
And I had cover crop in. So,
crap.
But luckily, the cover crop was only 2-3 inches tall, and I was able to come back. But by the time I did come back, the corn is 4 inches tall already. So it was actually might work out great. It might be a one pass and
and a lot of these products, these pre-products now, you can spray when. The corn's up,
my plan was already good for pre and post, and it worked out really well that way. My sprayer does have right spot on it, so I can really push. Speed or acres an hour if I want to, if the field conditions allow it. So, and then this March, when we had those warmer days in March, I finally went around with the 4-wheeler and drew all my boundaries.
Yes.
And that makes farming so much dang fun. If you guys have not done that.
You should ask Corey about that.
What do you want to know?
Well, you mapped your boundaries, but then you also have landlords that change your boundaries after you've already mapped them.
Oh, that's one story about it. Well, you just changed it by a few inches, but farming's a game of inches. And when you move the post out just a little bit, it's
and you might smoke it.
It's just it's a hard rub.
Oh,
yeah, it's a hard rub.
How sturdy of a post was it?
It was a corner post in it, and that contractor did a really good job.
Apparently, pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep. So.
What'd you hit it with?
The planter.
You bend the planter frame?
I don't know if the frame is bent. Something is messed up on it.
Sounds like it's new. It's ready for a new planter.
Yeah. What happened was I rubbed it, and I didn't stop. I saw it coming. I slowed way down, and it caught. I'm like, oh! But then it popped on by, and I'm like, oh, I've hit things way harder than that. And then when I went to nest it, that side is like 2 or 3 inches off from nesting. So I have to slam it and catch it.
Oh,
which is not good.
That's not good.
No.
So can we put that planter in the test farm for you guys to use and get him a new one?
That could be an
Apparently,
option.
as long as we can get it in the door at the.
As long as we can fold it
without.
Yeah. The funny thing is though, so my dad was rolling. Those were beans that I was planting, and he comes by and just smokes it. Just finishes it off. Just finishes it off.
I wonder.
Yeah. And so, we didn't have to pay for repairs until he came through. I just rubbed the post.
Oh.
Yeah. Brand new cattle pasture fence, It's like, oh, yeah, nice.
That's funny.
You guys aren't as strict up here as they are down south of the fencing laws that we have in Iowa, because that's probably my number one gripe.
Oh, really?
At how much fence I personally fix for not owning any livestock.
Yeah.
The 50-50 law.
The 50-50 law.
We've got a 92-year-old landlord.
Okay.
We want to build fence around the feed yard just as an extra barrier. We've always said we wanted to do it. Dave's got one of them cattle guards at the end of his driveway. Yep. We want one of those just so the cattle don't get on the highway.
Yeah.
They shouldn't, right? Every gate should be chained. Every secondary gate should be chained. But it'd be nice just to have a fence all the way around. And we rent some bins from him on an acreage he has. There's 1,000 T-posts, but he won't sell them because he's concerned that one of his neighbor farmers is going to get livestock and he's going to have to build the fence because they want to build fence to turn their cows out on the stalks. So he won't sell us the T-posts because he thinks he might have to by law someday.
Yeah.
How dumb is that?
Oh, I mean that's standard procedure. I mean, and then I have the 80 that I bought. It has a water gap, and technically, my neighbor bought the chunks that neighbor me. So it's a weird farm, but it's only a quarter mile wide and a mile long, and then my neighbor bought his share of the mile long fence in two separate pieces. So then the water gap is technically mine. And so when his cows get out the water gap, it's 100% on me, and it irks me every year.
So how does that work? So when someone goes to fence or fix fence, do they like tell the neighbor that that's happening and have to get approval, or do you just get a bill?
Oh no, I personally, my wife Becky and I go down there and go fix it. Like his cows are out, and we chase them back in, and we go fix it.
Okay. And then do you send them a bill for your time?
No, it's on us because it's our fence.
Okay. Well, I thought
and we can't send them a bill because it's our responsibility to keep their cows out of our side.
Okay.
As it is for them.
Gotcha. Well, I thought maybe they'd have to pay like 50% of your time and labor.
No, I wish that was the case.
That would be handy.
That would be handy.
I see where you're going with that.
Right? Like it's 50-50. It goes both ways.
It would be nice. But like if, let's say up here, if you buy a quarter and then your neighbor wants to like fence in livestock, you have to pay for half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad we got pigs and confinements up there. You open the gate up to get pigs out of a pen, and they don't go out anyways.
When pigs get out, there's no wrestling them back in.
Oh.
No.
They just become meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we try not to have that happen because it's not fun.
What if you could tap into advanced guidance and automation tools without buying a new machine? You can with the Precision Essentials Kit from John Deere. Everything you need to give current machines advanced technology. Learn more at johndeere.com/essentials.
Yeah. I was just talking to my dad. Every other year, we have the local rodeo company up there turns their Broncos out on our corn stalks. And you'd think, right? Those are bucking horses. They're wild livestock. You just imagine them running out in the mountains. You can keep them in with one barbed wire or one hot wire.
Really?
Maybe two. But it really doesn't take much to keep them, as long as they've got something to entertain them, like picking up corn.
I was going to say, must have put a lot of corn on the ground.
Yeah, we got a gleaner. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's just one of those things that it just fascinates me. They're regular horses out in a stock field. Keep the water to them and send them down the road.
Do they have any structure or anything to go to? They're just out on stock?
No, just out. I mean, the finisher's there that they can get behind if there's, if it's a windy day, it's a nice grove or trees.
Yeah.
But ultimately, no, they're just ranching.
Nice.
I should bring that up, that buck and Broncos will stay in, but my wife is super concerned about keeping her mini horse and mini donkey, and I got 3 strands of hot wire.
You had this. Why would you have that?
You need
wife,
a peacock.
mini horse, mini donkey. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Yep.
You need a peacock. That's the next logical step.
A peacock?
Maybe goats and then peacock. Well, that's the way my mother-in-law went.
Yeah.
She's got the donkeys.
I'm all about getting goats, just strictly for comical relief.
Yeah.
They're neat. Well, my wife grew up on goat or having 4-H goats and stuff, and one of the goats ate the complete tail off of her show horse. I was like, this is a 2-way street here. Like the horse had to stand there and allow this to happen. So yeah, that scarred her, and there will be no goats. But yeah, miniature horse, miniature donkey.
What Sicilian donkey?
Donkey. I don't know.
It's got the black stripe.
Yep.
Squeaks.
She wouldn't let me name it Radar.
I
wanted to name it Radar.
Yeah, mother-in-law's got the Sicilian donkeys, one with the gray and the black stripe right down their
that's
back.
What this one's got.
And I swear, there is the most fertility in a donkey, like anything. Like you can have a cow struggle to get bred, and you might have to run a sow through a couple of times. I swear you could put 2 donkeys together and let them breathe on each other.
Really?
Because they've got, what do you call them, colts? What's a baby donkey?
That's a good question.
Great question.
Well, I'll look that up. But yeah,
a mini donkey.
We also have a peacock, and it's for sale if you want the peacock.
What's
you
its
could
name?
bring it home.
I don't. I can't say that. Shut up.
Do you sell a peacock or do you give a peacock?
I think you give. Maybe you might have to pay to get rid of it.
Baby donkey is called a colt.
Foal.
Oh, I should know that. I read that's in one of Tate's books.
Oh,
A baby
geez.
donkey
Way to
is
go,
called
Dad.
a foal. When you're reading it to him at 11 o'clock at night for the 17th time, you're just going through the motions.
That's pretty good.
Is that the only livestock you have?
Yeah, I got some dogs.
Yeah.
Got a couple dogs. Got a wiener dog and got Steve and Ed the dogs and Squeaks and Peggy, I think is the horse's name.
Peggy.
Well, you know, our dog was on the Ag Leader's website
saw that.
recently. Yeah.
I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Famous dog.
Famous dog.
You get paid
Was
on
it-
advertising for that?
I wish.
For the marketing
but
department?
NIL money.
No, Becky was riding with me, and I think I caught a rock in the closing wheels. And I was out, and then the dog jumped up and was riding in the seat of the tractor, looking at the display like perfectly. And
Yeah.
That is perfect.
Speaking of catching things, I could not figure out why I had a row dragging. I caught a little tiny piece of a chain on my disc opener.
Yes, I had the exact same thing happen to me
And
on
I'm
Saturday.
like, where is it? What is going on? I thought it was gauge wheel. And finally I lifted the gauge wheel up. I'm like, you.
Yep.
And I had to get a dang hammer and beat that thing off.
I used at least you had a hammer with. I used a bolt and a pipe wrench
Yeah.
to get it.
I
it
tried
off.
my mini pliers at first. That was
Oh, that
it was
would've
too
been-
small for the job.
That would have been great. That
Yeah.
would have been perfect.
No.
So this spring I had a row saying low gauge wheel alarm, and I looked back, I was like, oh yeah, it's dragging. Shoot, we'll go out there. There's like a piece of like a gate hanger, like you thread into a gate,
Oh yeah.
wedged in between the opening disc, like perfectly, so tight, like in between that gap, like on the back, the back side of it, so perfectly that it was so tight that I couldn't even like pry it out with a wrench. So I started loosening everything, pulling the tire off and then the disc opener. That thing pinged and went right by my head.
Oh.
Probably 100 mile an hour right by my head. And I was like, wow, I could have just been here. Like that today was my day. But it's amazing what you find in the field that you don't drag around as often.
Man, then you wonder what else is out there.
Oh yeah.
The little things that you find that get hooked, it's like, what else is out here?
Have you guys ever found a horseshoe?
I've never personally found a horseshoe. I find a lot of deer antlers.
Yeah, I suppose in Southern Iowa.
In tires.
In your tires?
Yeah, in tires. And then, 1 year in one field, I bet I found 8.
8 sheds?
8 sheds. And yeah, but luckily that year there's none in tires. This year I had 2 in tires so far.
I had one in a planter tire this year.
I think I've only known Corey for 11, 12 years. Is that fair to say? Like, known you?
Yeah.
How many horseshoes have you found in that time?
I bet it's not every year, but if it's not, I bet it's every other year I find one.
That's cool.
He's
I found
6
one
to
this
8
spring.
horseshoes.
Yeah.
So do you keep them, or what do you do with them?
Yeah, just hang them on the wall in the
Put
shop.
them up over the
are they-
door.
I got one. I
always, or-
literally have one out in my truck right now. I was trying to get my girls interested. I'm like, this came from the field. They're like, oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to get them interested in horses?
No.
Don't do that.
No, I was just trying to explain the history of like,
Oh.
and I was also explaining horsepower. And they're like, why? I'm like, because we used to farm with horses.
Yeah.
Right? In this tractor, there's 300 horsepower. There are horses in this thing. They don't understand that quite yet.
Yeah.
But
Well, you can bring them down to my farm. There's we're surrounded by Amish and Mennonite, so it's no shortage of that.
Do you have a meat market down there?
A meat market.
Yeah, an Amish meat market.
Not an Amish meat market. That my neighbor has the grocery store. So like all your dry goods and everything, and then they have the like goat milk and cheese and stuff. But
McBee's have a meat market down
yeah,
there.
the McBee's have one in Leon.
Or had, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
Yeah. Mike Burkhart.
that whole thing is interesting.
Oh, it is.
We could talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we will talk about that
Yeah.
later. Mike Burkhart, been on the podcast a lot, real good friend of the podcast, and we did a charity auction for them early on in our relationship, and as a thank you, brought us meat from their Amish meat market. I'm pretty sure it was Amish.
Yeah.
But those are still some of the best turkey breasts I have ever had. Like, it's hard to make a turkey breast stand out ever, in my opinion. I haven't forgotten about them. We're talking 5 years later. So I just need to find an Amish meat market.
Maybe you don't eat enough turkey breasts.
I eat enough shaved turkey breast. That's all the.
Yeah, it's not the same. I had a wild turkey breast that Seth gave me this spring that he shot and smoked that.
That's good.
God, I love it. I love turkey when it's done right.
Yes.
You know.
I think that'd be a good TV show. Just go around to these hole in the wall meat lockers and meat markets and just see what the unique thing that's made. You know, whether you get liverwurst because it's traditionally made here, or you get these marinated turkey breasts in this spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that first a bad example? Your face went pretty.
When you said liverwurst, it didn't sound very good.
Yeah, you lost me.
When I was so part of my territory with Ag Leader I used to cover Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then we hired another guy to cover Wisconsin. We added another territory manager, and driving around Wisconsin, I mean, every town has a creamery making cheese and meat lockers everywhere. You drive through a town and it smells fantastic. So yeah, I tried a lot of different. Well, when you're on the road, you know, you're not going to pick up a turkey breast or something like that, but a lot of different beef sticks or
cheese
snack
curds.
sticks, cheese curds, a lot of cheese curds.
Squeaky cheese.
Yes, the squeakier the better.
Yep. Yeah, I do love Wisconsin for that. Beer and cheese.
Yep.
So, Corey, did you update to an In Command Go display this spring?
I did not. No, I still got my Integra.
Well, we got
Integra.
Integra.
Mm-hmm.
We got. Hey, good news. We just released a trade-up program last week. So.
Okay.
Which so we can talk about that.
Does the trade-up program just walk out of the back seat of your truck and into his?
What's the one right before the new one?
In Command 1200.
So I have that in my planter tractor, but we still have the Integra and the Hagee.
Oh, gotcha. Even in your new Hagee? You didn't just get a new one?
No, that's not ours. That is a demo, and that is all deer.
Bummer.
So, yeah. Which, we're not even going to go into that.
Oh.
It sprays really nice. Yeah, it sprays really nice. It's interesting. We can never afford one of those, but it is cool to see some of the new technology.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's one of the neat things about Ag Leader is what you can do with. You don't have to have something brand new. I mean, the first right spot system that I sold in my territory went on a 3-wheeled spray coupe.
Yeah,
Dude,
I remember
awesome.
that.
I love spray coupes.
And that was one of the guy ordered it like the first or second day that right spot was available for sale. Went on a 3-wheeled spray coupe in Wisconsin.
I used to call those things spraw coupes. Right? Why? It's S-P-R-A.
But you're spraying.
Soft A.
You're not spraying.
Spraw.
I used to want one of those so bad when I used to sell proprietary products, and I had a bunch of plots, and it's like, I want a little spray coupe.
200-gallon tank.
Yeah.
60
I feel
foot
like
boom.
you get in it,
Hook it
and
to
it
your
looks like
pickup
you're
and drive
sitting
down
in
the
a
road.
jet.
Yeah,
right.
It does feel like you're flying an airplane when you're
Yes.
in one.
Have you seen that trend on TikTok?
I have.
That
High
goes to
speed.
Maverick. They need to
Uh-huh.
do that in a spray coupe.
They do. They do.
Yep. And I also want to make one with a slow speed. Like so, instead of the jet and your Maverick, you're in a Cessna and you're like struggling to fly.
Fighting nasty headwind here. Ground speed is 0.
Yeah, exactly.
We had. Did you guys ever get to meet Cody Vanderholm when he worked for HTS Ag? So that would have
Yes.
been kind of down your way, maybe a little bit.
Yep. Now he's doing drone stuff, isn't he?
Right. But he was talking about how he put an Ag Leader auto steer system on his, was it a 1066? And it was a no cab IH tractor that he was mowing hay with. And that looked so cool. Just sitting there with his display up, perfectly straight windrows, had his boundaries mapped and everything. Thought that was kind of handy.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. We had, there was a dealer in Ohio, I think, that put one on like a 1932 Cub tractor. It was like a locally made tractor, and for their open house, they put a steady steer on that. You know, big old steering wheel that's this big around, and that's pretty neat to see.
Did you guys get to hang out with Mons? Was that his name?
Yeah.
From the Netherlands? He came out and rode with me.
That's awesome.
Last weekend or week?
Yeah.
Gosh, my days are running together.
Monday he was with me up in Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, he's just north of town here and
Who's Mons?
Mons.
Mons Vos.
Vossapold?
Vossapold?
M-A-N-S.
He's the Mon?
Yeah, he's the man. We have an office in the Netherlands, and so he lives over there, and he actually works in the same team as me, responsible for GPS and guidance. So
Okay.
he's
It's
cool
pretty
dude.
cool.
He's a great guy.
He's trying to get me to come over to Agritechnica.
You should.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do you
Yeah,
realize
you got to
when?
go
do
last
you-
year, didn't you?
I got to go. Yeah, 2 years ago. Whenever the last
Was that
one
not
was.
right in the middle of harvest for you?
We were done that year.
Oh.
Yeah, I think. So it was middle of it was
It's
right
early.
before. It was a week before Thanksgiving. I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, it's like right in the middle of November.
Yeah, it's like November 16th.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're not all BTOs, Tanner. That just harvest until Christmas every year.
We don't do it on purpose
You guys were done early last year.
because we had a Maya cornhead.
No, that's why. And mild harvest weather.
And good harvest conditions.
I don't think it rained all harvest.
But we didn't have
that
crap
show's like
breakdown.
next level. You guys would really enjoy it.
Yeah, we would like to. We've talked about it several times. It's just a matter of getting there. you
Yeah,
know, so
100%.
it's quite the trip.
Well, now that we know the man,
The Mons.
the Mons,
The Mons.
the Mons, we can go do it.
Is he still in town?
No, he left on Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Because he came back and rode with one of the guys that he wanted to go ride with some local farmers. So I took him out to a couple of my good former customers that I had from the dealership level. Took him out there, and then he was there on Monday, and it was borderline ready
Yeah.
to go. There was a few guys that were pushing it,
Yeah.
but everybody else was still trying to wait as patiently as possible with the forecast looking as good as it was. And he came back through on Saturday and ended up riding with another guy that
Yeah, that sucker was supposed to come ride with me, but he decided to stick around Ames instead.
I'm just glad it went well because it seems like every time one of those things happens, it's like the worst day ever. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm having breakdowns or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't need someone sitting here
Yeah.
asking me questions or whatever. You know, so it was a good morning.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So as we're getting to the end here, I'm going to put you guys on the spot.
no.
What needs to be added to Ag Leader's portfolio? What do they not offer that you're like,
Row
We-
feelers
we need
for
to
a
do
corn
this.
head. Steering row feelers for a corn head.
Hmm.
It's probably one of my two most requested features. Row feelers for a corn head.
Because
So
right
why
now,
not do it? Let's do it.
right now it's OEM or head site.
Head sight
Yeah.
or I'm drawing a blank here now.
Reichart.
I knew where Fargo, but yeah, those are the options out there. But I've been asking for it for years and years and years, and even from dealership level, and yeah, still hoping for it.
Are you guys doing much in autonomy? I mean,
There's different levels of autonomy. Auto steer is technically
Well,
a
right.
level of semi-autonomy. We for sure are looking at keeping the operator in the cab, but just alleviate some concerns, like what we were talking about with the gauge wheel sensors. Like, oh hey, I have this gauge wheel sensor now, and it can alert me sooner before I drag something for a half a mile. Like,
Right.
how can we really improve the customer's experience while running our equipment? So,
And they got car days.
and Car Days
Yeah.
is a good product.
Now, did Mark Thomas actually use? He got car days and used it, didn't he?
I don't know.
I know he was talking about it.
I know he's
using
talking about it. I would assume if he got it, he would have used it.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things. I think Card Ace is a very underused thing that we offer.
Yeah, I would agree that's a product that we could have hyped up better for sure.
We tried a little bit, and I brought Brett out to a grower one time to take some drone videos of Card Ace in action, and then he crashed his drone into the front of their brand new Challenger tractor.
Whoa. Rachel, if you're listening, don't crash my drone into the front of your
Brett
dad's.
crashed it.
Yeah,
That makes me smile.
that's good, and probably doesn't surprise you. But so then it was kind of funny because he crashed it right in. He was sitting there trying to get a shot where it'd be a really cool shot, hovering at headlight, and then come up over and then up over the hood and then
Yeah.
and do all that. But for whatever reason, instead of going up, he went forward and went right into the grill and went underneath. And the next shot of the video that you got is just Brennan Toquam looking at it like, is he gonna hit the button again and turn the propellers on and take my fingers off right now, or what's he gonna do?
That's funny.
It is funny.
That is funny. Well, he's so perfect all the time around me. It's funny that he messes up.
I'll let him know that Corey thinks
Yeah.
he's perfect.
So
What's
we-
your favorite Ag Leader product?
I got mine, but
You go ahead. I got one lined up too. Go ahead.
so my favorite one is the right spot system on the sprayer. I know, it's a large investment up front, but my goodness, like especially in my territory with all the point rows and turns that we might have for different fingers and ridges, actually truly pays pretty quickly. And then
So that's individual nozzle by nozzle control.
yep, so then that would get you auto swath control, nozzle by nozzle, turn compensation, and then the larger speed range. So the larger speed range, if you set the sprayer at 40 psi or whatever you want for your droplet size, like on my sprayer, I can go from 3 miles an hour all the way up to 14. Same tip, same psi. Yeah. And that's just a game changer.
And what sprayer are you running?
Right now, this year, it's the Tyler Patriot sprayer. So it's an older, before case bottom.
Yeah.
So
But that shows it can go on anything.
it can go on anything. Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're trying to, continue on keeping kits up to date. So we're supporting the latest models, but for sure, most of 2016 or 2017 back, we're going to support anything, and then anything newer than that, we have everything updated on our website.
And then, what you just said right there about it can go on anything. That's where my favorite thing that comes in is our displays, because you can put it in. You can put it in anything. I mean, we've got them on golf course sprayers to, strip till machine. Mm-hmm. It's the display. It's super easy to use, and I feel like I can say this. I don't want this to come off sales pitchy, but it kind of is. But it's the truth. I've ran on our farm. I've got a Pro 1200, Pro 700s. I've got Ag Leader displays. I've had deer displays in the past. I've had precision planting. I've got a Trimble FMX that runs my tile plow. So I've got firsthand experience with all these things, and the Ag Leader monitor has always seemed way easier, more intuitive to use, and you can use it for everything on the farm: planter, sprayer, strip tiller. You can use it on spinner spreader, combine. Yeah, combine, the most obvious out of all of it, and you can auto steer. Oh, you buy something that's ISO. Well, perfect. Check the box for virtual terminal. Now you can run your ISO implement too. So really, my favorite thing is the heart of our whole system is the display, and with the new Go displays, being that it was the first year out this year, I've been spending a lot of time talking to my dealers, getting dealers and growers that are running it, trying to get feedback, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. I've compiled a list of things that I like about it and don't like about it, things I would like to see changed, and things that I really like and want to see the same. I think Right Spot is probably the coolest thing that we offer as far as versatility goes. Like I mentioned, went on a spray coop. That guy ran it for 1 year on a spray coop, took the Right Spot system off of the spray coop when he sold it, and moved it over to a case sprayer that he bought. So it's the versatility is really neat too. It's like he made this huge investment. He made a $27,000 investment into this $4,000 sprayer, and then moved it to another sprayer after that. Just added more nozzles to it, and away he went.
We've got a self-propelled hay mower, and we move it from that, and we put it into if you go season by season, we got it in the tractor for planting, then it goes to the hay mower during mowing season, and then goes to the combine. The display just, maybe we should buy more displays, but nope, it just moves.
You should buy some more displays.
Yeah. What I thought was kind of cool, because I got a quote on Right Spot, I think last summer, and then over the winter I found out it got cheaper. I'm like, there's nothing in ag that gets cheaper.
Yeah.
Besides corn.
Yeah, corn
and beans.
The end product always gets cheaper. Inputs always keep going up. But yeah, that was neat. That was one thing that we found that we were able to change some things up. We were able to start sourcing some things a little bit better, making some more things in house, and we were actually able to without sacrificing quality.
Yeah.
We were able to to actually lower the price, which was, like you said, never happens.
Yeah.
I was spot on. I was the one that actually did that, but but you said it well.
So, have tariffs affected your supplies?
Oh, like today or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yesterday counts too, but yeah, today.
Like, are your prices going up because of tariffs for microchips or whatever?
Yeah, we're for sure monitoring it. We do a really great job, like sourcing everything within the United States. Now, where they get their parts, I mean, that's 100% on their business, and so we've had some vendors reach out, and then it's part of my job and the rest of my team's job to understand how that's going to impact our customer. Ideally, we're not going to, pass on anything, if much, to farmers. That's the goal.
I think the biggest thing is GPS receivers, isn't it?
So right now it's still in that 90-day hold period for sure. I just saw a headline this morning, but I haven't followed up on the article. But it might have actually extended as well. But the main thing would be the GPS receivers are out of Canada.
Are paradigms still worth anything?
What is that?
Man, they're getting really tough.
2 globe.
Yeah.
GPS, RTK GPS.
I had a dealer in Wisconsin buy a RTK unlocked one for $1,500.
Yeah.
So
that's better. Than
We
zero.
still have one. It just sits in the shop, and I look at it. I'm like, what are you doing over there?
They're pretty cool. When we used to tell people we shipped coffins going around the world, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it ships in one piece.
Yeah. It's like
it's
the
a length of his desk.
Yeah. It's cool though for its time.
yeah.
Oh, it was top notch for steering. I mean, it's auto steer's commodity now, so obviously Ag Leader's got one of the best, if not the best, auto steer, but everybody's got pretty good auto steer nowadays.
I think you guys need to get an autonomous mower.
Oh,
Lawnmower?
Yeah.
Lawnmower.
Yep. That's the big thing. No.
that's so. Head sight. Well, not head sight. The alternative to
Alternative to and an
And-
autonomous mower.
an autonomous mower.
Well, you guys have the GPS figured out, right? Because they've gone away from wires. Now they're using GPS.
Yep.
So you map your boundaries.
Yeah.
But then what you guys could do, because I have one. They kind of mow in a line. They must be using WAS.
Sure.
But it's like little wavy.
Well, Brandon, do you have a Husqvarna one?
No, I got a Segway.
A Segway. Okay.
Yeah. Right now I'm trying one out. I might go to a different brand. Mine's just a 2-wheel drive. Actually, I love the app and everything about it, but my yard's a little rough, so I might go to an all-wheel drive one. So,
How big of a cut path are we talking?
Oh,
here?
tiny.
Yeah.
This is
Are they
tiny.
just like the little ones?
I mean,
see,
you
like,
can
outside
get
of
bigger
banks?
ones, but
That's what I
good.
need. So my wife just begged me. I mowed the lawn at 1:30 a.m. the other
Yeah.
day because I got home and she's like, "You are."
I
mowing
mowed
the
at
lawn."
6:30. I mowed at 6:30 in the morning last week
you have auto
during,
steer on your
during
mower?
planning.
I push mow. I live in town,
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah, so you don't. This would help you too.
it'd be awesome.
Yeah. No, I mowed at 6:30 in the morning. Neighbors were probably pissed, but I'm like, and my wife's mad. I'm like, what do you want? Like, you're not mowing, and this is the only time I have because I got to go plant all day, and it's going to be 11 o'clock before I get back, and so that's what I was like, you know what? Time is valuable, and I don't want to spend it mowing when I'm home. So, But the theory behind it is it's like little razor blades. You're only cutting like that much of your grass. You just do it often.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So there's no, grass clippings everywhere. So you got to get ahead of it, and then it just always mows like a Roomba.
That's my heart. That's my problem. Is I'll fall like a week behind on lawn mowing, and once you get the windrows out there,
Yep.
then you fight that for the rest of the year unless you rake it.
Yep.
That's miserable.
I bet you're a big lawn guy.
I'm a huge lawn guy.
Stripes.
I'm the
has
opposite.
to be striped. I bought my Simplicity mower because it had the best striping kit on it from the factory. Like that was, I'm the one who does the mowing because I like nice straight lines, and once I get a good line, good angle that you can see from the blacktop road, I like keeping that.
Yep.
I mow the same direction every time, so the stripes.
So that's
just get
cool
more and
about
more
this.
profound
It's
every year.
almost straight. I just want the line straighter, but it mows at a different direction every time. So it's
Oh, it
always
does.
changing them. Yeah. And then if it struggles with the direction, you can say don't mow that direction.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Can you do your whole yard on one charge?
No.
It's got to return home and.
Yeah, it charges.
Charges.
It can do. You set up sections,
Okay.
and then you can set up a schedule. And
So you got the North 40.
Yeah. The north 40 square foot.
No. I got a third of an acre, and what we ended up doing is we ended up sharing a zero-turn lawnmower across 4 neighbors.
Nice.
I don't have to put it in my garage, but I still get a 54-inch deck, so I can still mow in a very swift amount of time. But I had a proud dad moment last year, taught my 10-year-old, now she's 11, to mow the backyard. So I can weed eat in the time it takes for her to mow the backyard.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I can do the stuff in the front.
Yes.
But she only likes to go one direction. So unless I'm mowing, we just go north and south.
Right. And I will say the robot mower, you have to do a lot more trimming. Right.
Doesn't like to get too close to things.
They are more expensive mowers that trim.
Ooh.
Yes. And they have cool attachments. Like you can fertilize.
You do a lot of research. I do a lot of research too, but
yeah. Man. So no, it's cool. Which I rather just trim for a little bit now and then, and just let that thing keep mowing. So
that's neat.
Should we talk about Right Path a little bit too?
Sure,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more your department because that's still a product that's in testing.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they don't tell us salespeople anything because they know they keep me.
They're afraid you're gonna go sell it
because I'll just go and tell everybody.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Well, we told people at National Farm Machinery Show.
Oh, we got to tell our
Commodity
audience.
Classic.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh yeah. But you've seen it in the field. I haven't actually seen it in the field.
Well, actually, the sad part is I've only ran it on my own planter. I want to actually get out to like a normal customer's farm and
so how do you describe it?
It's not even on the website.
Nope.
No, Right Path. The machine
yeah,
guides. It is on the website.
Oh, I was looking in the wrong side. Yep.
So Right Path. We're now doing passive implement guidance to where we're mounting a receiver on the implement and steering the tractor offline to keep the planter or the implement online.
Yep.
And my goodness gracious, if anybody out there has been running Smart Path for long or even identical curves that are very complicated or boundary guidance, and is very frustrated that we always control to the control point of the tractor, this will fix your issue.
Yeah.
It is a top-notch product, and me personally, this is something that we should have had in the hills a long time ago.
Right.
Like, it is awesome.
There's your row feelers. You don't need them anymore.
Well, see, that's when I found out about this. When I found out that we were going to release this, I told everybody in a meeting. I said, I'll get off my soapbox and stop asking for this if we can get it released by fall before this year, because the guys that I've got that want it, they want it for making strips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have to do that in the fall. So otherwise, planter pass, whatever. I mean, if you have it on the planter and your strips are over here, but you're trying to plant where the line thinks it should be, but your strip till machine drifted.
Yep.
That's where the market is up in my territory. And like you said, in the hills, guys are going to want it.
Yeah.
I got guys that are running ground that's as flat as this table, and you can watch your dog run away for 3 days, and they want it.
Yeah.
We're getting to that level of technology that guys want the latest and greatest, and implement steering is just kind of the next thing. They've got all the planner stuff,
right.
They've got all the auto steer stuff, and now they've got all the yield monitoring stuff. So then going back to row feelers, it's like, well, if your AB line is here, your tractor had to drive like this to keep the planter exactly where it was, pull in the field with the combine, grab that same AB line.
Yep.
Don't need row feelers anymore.
Right.
Yep. It's even nice, when you go into a field in the dark and backing up to the end road. So we're truly mapping and positioning where the implement is. So like if you're backing up and you have good boundaries, you're backing up, and you can watch it on the screen, and then you just set the planter down and take off, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
We should have done a while ago, but now it's going to be here for this year, so it'll be nice.
That will be nice. I mean, I know I've used the other brand's version of that for the strip till side of things, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
It is really nice, and you can push even like spraying. You might have had the heading for your planter, and that you're never truly on it, and now you can.
It does not take much of a hill or just a change in oscillation of the planter at all to get 6 inches of drift.
Right. Well, like in that strip till scenario, you have 8 inches of fluff and then solid no till.
Yeah.
And as soon as you hit the fluff, and then you're fighting that, you're coming out, and you can't.
Well, I even noticed this spring, like when we were playing kind of marginally, but like where the anhydrous tracks were, like when the right path was trying to like pull it out of the anhydrous tracks because I was trying to keep it online.
That's probably the biggest thing. When I went to Ag Leader's hydraulic downforce, and then we were mapping, you could see how much downforce was applied and how much actually got, and you could see every tire on every tractor and field cultivator, like going at angles. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I'm asking my planter to make a change in downforce in a split second from something that went at a diagonal. I went like everything straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at least I know if there's a wheel track, it can adjust for it correctly.
Yep. Instead of going, need more, need less, need more, need less.
Yeah.
And then you're
going
to
bouncing
get that,
up and down.
You're going to get that very.
Yep.
I saw a guy on the drive down. There's a field that was worked at like a 45-degree angle. I was just, oh boy.
Yeah.
And the worst part is if you work at a big angle like that, your tractor is always fighting something.
Yeah, and then you can't understand why your rows look wavy.
Yep.
And it's like, well, because it was coming in and out of that,
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sweet.
What do you think, boss?
Well, this has been a boss. Really? I mean, you've never called me that. You might have called me that once before. No, this has been fun. I'm excited because I'm pretty sure we're going to have another cocktail after we get off the mics. But this has been a pleasure getting to know the differences, right? You're Southern Iowa, Southern Minnesota, the two different areas that you farm in. Also really cool to learn that, you guys are applying what you experience in the field to what Ag Leader provides to their customers. And you can just see it. You can see it in the passion, and it's kind of fun to – it'll be neat to stay in touch and kind of follow where things go, especially with yours and the family experience you have that you're dealing with. It just makes it all real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to give me as a mm-hmm.
I wanted to say something, and I was like, nope, not appropriate. Not appropriate.
No, that's good. I'm excited to get this out to our listeners and share that background. If somebody wants to ask you guys questions or learn more about what you guys are doing, do you want them to reach out to you? Want to reach out to us?
I guess it doesn't make any difference to me. I can give you my email.
Yep, go ahead.
I don't necessarily want my phone number out, but
that's fair.
There's enough people that got that the way it is.
That's fair.
I can throw an email out and field any questions and I can direct them to wherever, obviously you guys are covering everywhere. I can direct them to the territory manager and they can get them in touch with the appropriate territory manager, get them in touch with the right dealer, and any way we can collect any leads or questions, we're all for it.
Yep, that's great. We'll have them reach out to us. Of course, you listeners, just like in the intro, farmforprofitllc@gmail.com. We'll get you connected with these guys. And Corey, what do you say?
Crack a cold one. You deserve it.